I am a mother. I love my daughter deeply. She is 27 years old, a bright young woman who has worked hard to build her life. She finished university with pride, secured a stable job, and carved out a future for herself. My husband and I have always been proud of her. She has been our joy, our hope, our greatest achievement. We wanted her to have a good life, free from struggle and pain. So when we were able, we gave her an apartment. It was our way of showing love, of making sure she had a strong foundation. We wished for her happiness, for a beautiful future filled with love and security. Like many parents, we dreamed of seeing our daughter married one day, of welcoming grandchildren into our lives. We imagined her finding a good man, someone who would cherish her, build a life with her, and create a home filled with warmth and laughter. But now, my heart is heavy. I carry a pain I cannot share, a sorrow that lingers deep within me. I have discovered a secret, one that shakes me to my core. My daughter is involved with a married man. My hands trembled when I learned the truth. My breath caught in my chest. I wished it were a mistake, a misunderstanding, but the evidence was clear. My sweet, intelligent, independent daughter was entangled in a love that could only bring pain. My heart ached, not just for her, but for the choices she was making. I could not tell my husband. He is so proud of her, of the woman she has become. If he knew, his disappointment would be unbearable. He would be angry, and his heart would break just as mine had. So I kept the secret, carrying the burden alone. I lay awake at night, staring at the ceiling, thinking of my daughter. Why? Why would she choose this path? She is beautiful, smart, and capable. She does not need to be the second choice, the hidden love. She deserves a man who is free, who can love her openly and fully. I tried to understand. Was she lonely? Did she truly believe his promises? I had heard these stories before. Married men often say the same things. I will leave my wife. I love you, just give me time. But time passes and the promises remain empty. One day I decided I could not stay silent. I had to speak to her, to make her see reason. My hands shook as I sat with her in the living room, my heart pounding in my chest. I took a deep breath and finally said, "I know your secret." She looked at me, startled, but she did not deny it. She held her head high, her voice steady. "It is my life. It is not your problem." Pain surged through me. I did not want to fight. I only wanted to protect her. "He is married," I said gently. "He has a wife. He is not free." Her face softened, but her words remained firm. "I love him. He loves me. He will leave his wife." I wanted to believe her, but I knew better. I had seen this before. Women waiting, believing, hoping, only to be left with nothing. "Men like him make promises," I said. "They say they will leave, but they never do." Anger flashed in her eyes. "If you do not stop, I will tell his wife," I said, desperate to make her see the danger of this path. She stood up, her voice sharp. "Why do you always interfere? You do not understand." Her words cut deep. I had never seen this side of her. She had always been kind, patient. Now she was different, defensive. My heart ached. "I am your mother," I said. "I love you. I do not want this life for you." She crossed her arms, her face unreadable. "You are old-fashioned. Love is not so simple." Tears welled in my eyes. "You deserve better," I whispered. "You are young. You're strong. You do not need to be someone's secret." She turned away, refusing to meet my gaze. I felt helpless. I had raised her to be independent, to think for herself. But now she was making a mistake, and there was nothing I could do to stop her. Later, I spoke to a friend, my voice shaking with grief. "She is an adult," my friend said gently. "She will make her own choices, even if they are mistakes." "But I do not want her to suffer," I said. "This man will not make her happy." That night, I lay awake again, my mind racing. My husband, unaware of the storm in my heart, read a book in the living room. I stared at my phone, tempted to call my daughter, to try again. I thought of her as a little girl, full of dreams and laughter. She used to hold my hand and tell me she wanted a happy life. Now she was walking a path that could only lead to pain. The next morning, I decided to try once more. I called her, my hands shaking as I held the phone. When she answered, her voice was quiet. "Can we talk?" I asked. "I am busy," she said. "Please," I whispered. "I miss you." There was a long pause, then finally she sighed. "Okay, I will come tomorrow." Hope flickered inside me. The next day, she arrived. She looked tired. I made her tea, setting the cups gently on the kitchen table. "I love you," I said. "I am worried about you." She sighed. "Mom, I am fine. Why can't you just trust me?" Tears burned my eyes. "Because I know this man will hurt you." She looked away. "You do not know him." I took a deep breath, trying to steady my voice. "If he loves you, why is he still with his wife?" She did not answer. Her face was sad. I reached for her hand. "You are strong. You are smart. You deserve a man who is free, a man who gives you his whole heart." She looked at me then, her eyes filled with something I could not name. "I love him, Mom. I cannot stop." I squeezed her hand gently. Love should not hurt. Real love is honest and kind. She pulled her hand away, shaking her head. "I do not want to talk anymore." My heart broke again. "Please, think about your future," I pleaded. She stood up. "I am leaving. Do not call me again about this." I watched her walk away, my tears falling silently. I felt helpless. Days turned into weeks. My daughter did not call. My husband asked, "Why is she so busy?" I did not know what to say. I kept her secret, but it weighed on me. Then, one evening, my phone rang. My daughter's voice was soft. "Mom, can I come over?" A spark of hope lit in my chest. "Yes, my dear, come anytime." She arrived that evening, looking tired, her face full of sorrow. I made her favorite dinner. We sat in silence for a long time. Then finally, she spoke. "He lied to me." My heart shattered again. Tears welled in my daughter's eyes as she spoke those words, her voice cracking under the weight of her emotions. "He lied to me." It was a confession laced with sorrow, a realization that had finally shattered the illusion she had held on to so desperately. My heart ached as I watched her lower her head, her hands trembling slightly as she struggled to keep her composure. I had feared this moment, yet I had known it was inevitable. No matter how much I had tried to warn her, to guide her away from this path, she had needed to walk it herself, to see the truth with her own eyes. Now, as she sat before me, her pain palpable, I felt no satisfaction in being right. I only felt the deep sorrow of a mother witnessing her child's heartbreak. I reached across the table and gently took her hand in mine, my grip firm, reassuring. "Tell me what happened," I whispered, my voice soft, careful, as if speaking too loudly might cause her fragile resolve to crumble completely. She took a deep breath, staring at the cup of tea in front of her, as if searching for answers in the swirling steam. "He promised me," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "He said he would leave his wife. He said he loved me. I believed him." She exhaled shakily, as if trying to rid herself of the weight of those words. But weeks passed, then months, and nothing changed. Every time I asked, he had excuses. "It's not the right time. She's not well. The kids need stability." She swallowed hard, shaking her head. I wanted to believe him. I told myself to be patient. I thought if I just held on a little longer, he would choose me. But he never did. He never intended to. I listened in silence, letting her speak, letting her empty her heart. I had waited for this moment, not to tell her, "I told you so," but to be here when she needed me most. He started pulling away, she continued, her grip tightening around her cup. The texts became fewer, the calls shorter. He started making excuses not to see me. I felt it, but I didn't want to admit it. Then one day, I asked him outright, "Are you ever going to leave her?" Her lips quivered as she recounted his answer. He didn't even hesitate. He just said, "I can't. It's complicated." Just like that. As if all the promises, all the late nights, all the whispered "I love yous" meant nothing. Her voice cracked, and for the first time since she arrived, a tear slid down her cheek. I squeezed her hand, my heart breaking along with hers. "Oh, my love," I murmured, my own eyes stinging with unshed tears. "I am so sorry. I wanted to take away her pain, to undo everything, to give her back the time she had lost. But all I could do was be here, listen, and remind her that she was not alone." She sniffled and wiped at her face, frustration flashing across her features. "I feel so stupid," she admitted, her voice thick with shame. "I should have known. I should have listened to you. I should have seen the signs." I shook my head, reaching up to brush her hair back from her face, just as I had done when she was a little girl. "You are not stupid," I told her firmly. "You're human. You wanted love. You wanted to believe in someone. That is not foolishness, my dear. That is hope, and hope is never a mistake." She let out a shaky breath, and for a moment, she was silent, just sitting there, absorbing my words. Then she spoke again, her voice quieter now, tinged with regret. "I feel lost, Mom. I don't know who I am anymore. I built my life around him, around the future I thought we would have. Now, I don't know what's left." I felt the ache of those words deep in my soul, the way a mother feels her child's pain as if it were her own. "You're still you," I said gently. "You're still strong, still kind, still capable of love. This man did not define you. He does not get to take away your future. You do." She looked up at me then, her eyes searching mine as if trying to believe in my words, to grasp onto the possibility that she could rebuild, that she could move forward. And I knew that she could. She just needed time. For a long while, we sat in silence, the weight of everything settling between us. Then she let out a small, sad laugh. "I ignored your advice so many times," she admitted, "and yet, here I am, running back to you when I'm broken." I smiled softly, squeezing her hand again. "That is what mothers are for," I said simply. "To catch you when you fall, no matter how many times it takes." She exhaled, nodding slowly. "I want to move on," she said finally. "I just don't know how." I reached for her other hand, holding them both now, grounding her. "One step at a time," I told her. "It will hurt, but you will heal. You will find love again, real love, the kind that is honest and whole. not hidden in the shadows. She gave me a weak smile, but I could see a flicker of something in her eyes. Hope. It was faint, but it was there. And that was enough. In the days that followed, I saw my daughter slowly begin to rebuild herself. She stopped checking her phone every few minutes. She started spending time with her friends again, going for walks, rediscovering the parts of herself she had put aside for him. It was not easy. There were still moments when I caught her staring off into the distance, lost in thought, or when she would hear his name and I would see the brief flash of pain in her eyes. But she was healing, and that was all I could ask for. One evening, as we sat together drinking tea, she looked at me and said, "I think I understand now." I raised an eyebrow, waiting for her to continue. "I understand why you fought so hard for me," she said. "You weren't trying to control me. You were trying to protect me. And I pushed you away because I didn't want to see what you saw." A lump formed in my throat, but I managed a small smile. "A mother's love never stops," I said, "even when her child does not want to listen." She smiled back, a little sad, but mostly grateful. "Thank you for never giving up on me." As I watched her that night, I knew she would be okay. She had learned a painful lesson, but she had also gained strength, wisdom, and one day she would find love again, the kind of love that did not come with lies or broken promises, the kind that was honest and true. Until then, I would be here, as I always had been, as I always would be, because a mother's love never wavers. It is constant, unwavering, and eternal. If you're ever in a situation where love feels uncertain, where you're waiting for someone to choose you, remember this. True love does not ask you to wait in the shadows. True love does not keep secrets. You deserve someone who will love you fully, who will never make you feel like an option. If you are struggling, know that you are not alone. There is always hope, always a way forward. Take care of yourself and never settle for less than what you truly deserve. Thank you for listening to this story. If you found it meaningful, please share it with someone who might need to hear it. And remember, love should never be hidden. It should shine in the light. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and take care of your heart.